This is Liz Cheney, the three-term congresswoman from Wyoming. On August 16, 2022, Cheney lost in the primary election against Harriet Hageman, an attorney based out of Cheyenne. Hageman won by a large margin, 37.4%. In fact, it's so huge that it's the second biggest loss for a House incumbent in the last 60 years.
2 years ago, I won this primary with 73% of the vote. I could easily have done the same again.
Well, she could have, but didn't. That's because Wyoming voted to send a clear message that they think Liz Cheney is poison. It all started on January 13th, 2021, when Cheney, along with 10 other House Republicans, voted to impeach President Trump following the events of January 6th. But ultimately, Cheney's vote didn't affect the outcome, as the Democrats controlled the House. So impeachment was going to happen no matter how Cheney voted. And on February 3rd, 2021, she survived a vote by House Republicans to remove her from GOP leadership. The vote was 145 to 61, and Cheney remained the conference chair.
We really did have a terrific vote tonight, a terrific time this evening, laying out what we're going to do going forward, as well as making clear that we're not going to be divided. It was a very resounding acknowledgement that we need to go forward together and that we need to go forward in a way that helps us beat back the really dangerous and negative Democrat policies.
And that should have been the end of it. Representative Cheney made her point. But instead of moving forward like she promised, Cheney became laser focused on Trump and proclaimed that no matter the outcome of the then upcoming Senate impeachment trial, it would only be the beginning.
If I were in the Senate, I would obviously listen to the evidence. I think that that's the role the Senate has as jurors. I would also point out, though, Chris, that the Senate trial is a snapshot. There is a massive criminal investigation underway. There will be a massive criminal investigation of everything that happened on January 6th and in the days before. And there will be many, many criminal investigations looking at every aspect of this, at everyone who was involved, as there should be.
The biggest problem with the House impeachment of Trump was that it reeked of being a massive political hit job by the Democrats. The impeachment vote took place without an actual investigation, without due process, and within a week of the so-called insurrection. And there were a couple reasons for this. First, Democrats wanted to set the tone for the incoming Biden administration. They could lump together the idiots at the Capitol who committed violence with all Republicans. And if you supported Trump, or if you questioned any aspect of the election, or if you criticized the tech companies or the media for how they handled themselves during said election, then you're as guilty as the insurrectionists. And therefore, you're a traitor and a threat to democracy. The second reason for rushing impeachment was because when it comes to the United States Constitution, it's unclear whether or not you can impeach a former president. So impeaching Trump before he left office was key and would at least get the ball rolling and set up the Senate trial. But in the end, the Senate failed to convict the former president, and so Cheney continued to bash Trump and call for investigations. And ultimately, it led to her removal from GOP leadership.
I will do everything I can to ensure that the former president never again gets anywhere near the Oval Office.
Except that is not her job. Her job is to represent Wyoming, and Wyoming, to quote Jussie Smollett, is MAGA country. Nearly 70% of Wyoming voters voted for Trump in the 2020 election. In fact, Wyoming had the second largest percentage of Trump voters compared to the rest of the country. And if you're one of Cheney's constituents and you saw her appear on TV in the last 18 months, you probably weren't thrilled about it.
Donald Trump, President Trump, Donald Trump, and Donald Trump, Donald Trump, Trump, Donald Trump, Donald Trump, Donald Trump, Donald Trump, Donald Trump, Donald Trump's Trump, Trump, former President Trump, Donald Trump, President Trump, former President Trump, Donald Trump, Donald Trump, 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 Donald Trump, President Trump, Trump, Donald Trump, Trump, and Donald Trump, Donald Trump, Donald Trump.
Now, 74 million people voted for Donald Trump in the 2020 election, including 193,000 Wyomingites. And Liz Cheney is essentially calling them rubes and suckers.
Look, I think what we have seen, not just in Wyoming, but across the country, is that Donald Trump has betrayed Republican voters. He's lied to them. Those who support him have lied to them. And they're using people's patriotism against them. They're preying on people's patriotism.
Millions of people, millions of Republicans have been betrayed by Donald Trump.
And deceived by Donald Trump.
In other words, Donald Trump lied to you, and you were tricked. Don't you feel stupid? Vote Liz Cheney in the primary. And while Wyoming voters hate Liz Cheney 2.0, the mainstream media love her. Not only because she's not afraid to go after Trump, but she also routinely slams the current state of the Republican Party.
Is the Republican Party a personality cult?
I think that large segments of it have certainly become that.
A cult?
Yeah.
Ever hear of the term useful idiot? Well, if you look in the dictionary, you'll see a picture of Liz Cheney.
Can the Republican Party survive in the way you've known it if Donald Trump is again chosen?
It can't survive if he's our nominee.
No.
No. I think that he can't be the party nominee, and I don't think the party would survive that.
Yeah, Liz Cheney's such an expert on the future of the Republican Party that she's about to be kicked out of it completely. And the same news organizations who 5 minutes ago couldn't give a shit about Liz Cheney or the Republican Party are suddenly very concerned.
It's very sad.
Yeah.
It is. It's very, very sad to me what has happened to Liz Cheney, that for telling the truth, something we all teach our children, you tell the truth.
Yeah.
She tells the truth and she is greatly penalized for it.
Gee, Gail, where were all the calls for the truth when Democrats called Trump an illegitimate president for 4 years because of Russian collusion? Not the same thing.
So we'll see what happens, but I know there are a lot of Republicans, a lot of former Republicans, some former Republican presidents that are sure hoping Liz Cheney wins that race.
Guys, Morning Joe Scarborough says that he knows some Republican presidents, plural, who hope Liz Cheney wins. But obviously, Joe is talking out of his ass, as per usual.
Yeah, and remember what Liz Cheney's crime, for which now she's been basically tossed out effectively of the Republican Party, was that she said January 6th was bad and that Donald Trump lost the presidential election. Pretty fundamental stuff.
No, it was about the fact that she wouldn't shut the hell up about Trump and that she willingly joined the sham January 6th committee, a blatantly one-sided affair that was completely handpicked by Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi.
It's so dangerous, and Liz Cheney is just trying to tell the truth and trying to warn them that their lies, their bold-faced lies, are hurting this country and are putting this country in danger and putting this country in danger around the world, destroying our place in the world. This is what leads to the downfall of a democracy, and it can't be put lighter.
Downfall of a democracy, huh? So let me get this straight. When Republican House members held a vote and ultimately voted against Cheney and removed her from GOP leadership by holding a vote, that's anti-democratic. Got it. Anyway, what does the future hold for soon-to-be former Congresswoman Liz Cheney?
Are you thinking about running for president? That's a decision that I'm going to make in the coming months, Savannah. I'm not going to make any announcements here this morning, but it is something that I'm thinking about, and I'll make a decision in the coming months.
Talk about delusions of grandeur. If she couldn't even convince Wyomingites to vote for her in a House primary, then how does she expect her to win the Republican nomination? Well, actually, there's an answer. It's because Liz Cheney thinks that she's the modern-day Abraham Lincoln. I wish I was kidding.
The great and original champion of our party, Abraham Lincoln, was defeated in elections for the Senate and the House before he won the most important election of all. Lincoln ultimately prevailed, he saved our Union, and he defined our obligation as Americans for all of history.
Don't you see it? She's just like Abraham Lincoln. And now, honest Liz Lincoln is going to save our Union. You know, the congresswoman who could barely muster 150 Team Cheney members to support her on primary night. Right.
This primary election is over, but now the real work begins.
No, it's not. The only real work Liz Cheney's getting is as a CNN or MSNBC contributor. But hey, at least Cheney got a fist bump from the president. Those always work out great. Anyway, that's it for now. Be sure to hit that like button, check out these videos that you definitely missed. Be sure that you're still subscribed to the channel, and as always, I hope to see you next time. If there is a next time.